first like what I would do, but I'm just like, we're just gonna freestyle it, you know. So yeah, I was trying to catch you where you were doing something, and I would say you're doing it wrong, and you would say what, and I would say life.
Yo, my world don't stop when the beats commence. Said I'm climbing up this ladder just to get over this fence and run far, far away from the games people play. In this melancholy modern day music, Malay, touche. Pussy cats with lives to spare that kick you know in your heart, nice as hell. Yeah, be aware, beware. I hate to see you less a liver or worse. Polar bear, winter time, catch the river. Now that's cold, and like that, now that's old. Didn't buy the last copy of this, now that's old. It's the pepper on your salt, my dudes, I grind it out. And the answer to the questions of life, I find it out. With that stress, I walk with access. Be he who Max says, with simple blackness. Cause in the end, God bless us, which is so profound. So I stick to my guns. Urban soul be the sound, and y'all doing it.
What you talking about? Got me walking out. They ain't saying jack. Never paying back.
That's gonna be my slogan. Like every time we get together, I would get somebody to be like, what? I would say, you're doing it wrong. And they would say, what? And I'd be like, life. But it didn't work as
it flopped.
well as I thought it would. But nonetheless, I'm very excited to be here with you. Did you have something to say?
No.
Oh, you just looked at me like you had a comment.
I'm good.
All right, cool. Don't interrupt.
I didn't say anything.
You just made a look. Yes. I think I'm looking at the wrong camera. I'm very excited to be here again. My name is Brandon. I don't want to say my last name. It's not that cool. But if those of you who were with me last time, all 5 of you who listened to the previous podcast, I said I wanted to continue podcasting. Last time, I should have brought a copy of the book.
Nope.
Boom. I wrote a book, and this is the old copy, but whatever. And me, shout out to my brother Brent, shout out to my brother Jamel, and everybody else who tagged along. We did sort of like a podcast through every chapter of the book, just providing a commentary. And once we had finished that, I actually liked the medium of podcasting and wanted to continue doing it. But I was met with the dilemma with this 50 million podcasts out there. Like, why would someone want to listen to what the heck I have to say? So just trying to figure out what my topics would be or what I wanted to talk about. I don't want to necessarily do pop culture because so many people do pop culture, and I don't want to do sports because I feel like that was oversaturated. So I was trying to see what my strengths is. I don't know. See what my strengths are and try to expound on that and create a podcast about my experiences and things of the such. I thought, in my mind, one of my strengths was, and it's going to sound really weird, but that I thought I was self-aware. And self-aware in the sense that I could admit my faults. I think that's a huge problem that people have today. They can't acknowledge their faults and flaws, and not just to highlight them for the sake of highlighting, but highlighting for the sake of growth. And so I just wanted to have just real, genuine conversations about life. And I think the thing that makes what I'm doing unique is that I'm coming from, I guess you can call it a biblical worldview, but I also didn't want to be preachy or anything like that. I wanted to show that being a Christian or a believer is just not something I do on Sundays, but it filters in every aspect of my life, whether it's fatherhood, parent, work. My worldview affects all aspects of life, and just trying to display that and let people see that. And so I came up with the title, You're Doing It Wrong. And though it sounds, as someone told me, pejorative, and I think I looked it up, and it was like that it could offend people or something like that. I don't know. But it's not a rebuke against other people, but a rebuke against me. And I just didn't like how I'm doing it wrong or we're doing it wrong sounded. That just sounded trash. So I said, you're doing it wrong, but it's more self-reflective of me. So the format of the podcast is going to be monthly. So that's one of the things that I learned about doing the podcast before. I tried to do it weekly and I knew that wasn't going to work. So I was like, let me just do it once a month, try to up the production. So if you notice, we're in the same room, but the lighting is different. The cameras are different.
Fancy.
Got this really cool photo here that we got from New York. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but whatever. So yeah, try to step up production and just essentially create content. If anyone knows me, they know I will much rather be behind the camera, but I feel God is certainly pushing me to this in this direction. So just trying to be faithful and be obedient to God, but at the same time, kind of terrified in the process. Like I said, going to be coming from a biblical worldview, and needless to say that I'm a Christian, but I also went to school for it. So I got a bachelor's degree in biblical studies, got a master's of divinity, and currently I'm at Southeastern working towards a doctorate. But the catch is I don't want to be a pastor and I don't want to be a teacher. So it's like, oh, what the heck am I going to do? So just trying to figure that out and wondering how am I going to support my family. By the way, I have a wife and daughter. That's who was commenting and making sounds. Both of them. I'm sure you could hear my daughter too. Well, not that you were just making noise, but you were, saying stuff. And people who's listening may not know what the heck that voice was. But you can also watch on YouTube as well. But like I said, so we're just going to be discussing just a myriad of topics every month. Going to have I don't want to call it a panel of guests, but just people I have friends and people who I've come across in life. And I also want to have people who don't share the same worldview as me as well. I think that's one of the things those in my worldview do wrong. We have a lot of conversations in-house, but the whole point is to go out into the world. And I don't think we do a very good job of that, myself included. So I want to have people on the podcast who don't share my worldview and just have conversations and really also foster this idea that just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean you hate them. So it's just want to have a myriad of things, but at the same time, I want to inform, but also have fun with it too. I don't want it, like I said, I don't want this to be preachy or anything like that at all. I like to think I have somewhat of a sense of humor, and try to bring that out because usually I'm more reserved and quiet, but I think I make my wife laugh sometimes. When you agree? Sometimes. See, there you go. So I wanted to just have a real laid back, relaxed feel. You guys get to know me. And like I said, I just want to be just very honest and transparent and as vulnerable as I can, because I don't do everything right. And I think it's fitting that I have my wife here on the first episode who can bear witness to that. But I did want to, I don't even hear what you said, but it's cool. I did want to discuss the cover art. So, and coming up with this idea of you're doing it wrong and just seeing all like the behind the scenes work that goes into it, I had to create new cover art. And so since the whole idea is just trying to have life conversations and things like that, it's like, what could encapsulate life for me? And I was like, sitting at home watching TV with my family. And so I'm going to try to put it up for those watching on YouTube, what the actual picture looks like. But it's just me, my wife, and my daughter sitting on the couch all on our electronic devices. I'm on my laptop, she's on her phone, and my daughter Autumn, she's on her tablet. And I thought it was a really cool idea because it demonstrated that we were close in proximity, but as far as just being emotionally connected, we definitely are. And I think that's one of the areas that we need to work on, or I'll speak for myself, just being there but not being there. That's one of the things, getting married, that's a huge misconception, that you're always going to be around your spouse and everything like that. And I'm trying to find this picture because I wanted to get your thoughts. And let me say this before I forget. I want to, even though my wife is here, so it might seem silly, but I want to give you a big shout out because I feel like you've always been there, helping support my ideas, no matter how, like, I don't want to say lame, but I remember when I was coming up with the book and thinking of ways to like promote it, and we did like somewhat of a trailer, and we were still in Virginia, and we went downtown, and we were like spending like hours just recording and stuff, and like you never complained. I
forgot all.
And I don't even know if I put the video out, but I was so. It's on YouTube, but I haven't like been like, ooh, check out what I've done. But you've always been there to help and support. So I definitely wanted to say that before I forget. But I did want your thoughts on the picture because, like I said, I thought it was a cool idea trying to, encapsulate, and I've got it. I think I've changed it a little bit, but just trying to, and the other thing about the picture is like I've got my my blanket on, and my wife says I look like a Muslim woman, but it's cool. But that's literally life for us, just sitting on the couch, watching TV or on our devices, and as convicting as that is, it's like a reality, and just wanting to be open and honest, because so many people have this picture of marriage where it's just like, I don't know what the word is, but they just have this fantasy view of marriage, and it's like you get busy, and it sounds bad to say, but I think I've definitely just gone into like coast mode and not realizing that I don't necessarily call marriage a job per se, but you do have to put work into it. And I think so many people don't realize that. What it's just easier to not engage with one another, but to be, on the phone. And so even like this, like sitting down, having a conversation where it should be like something we do on a regular basis and not something that we're just doing to record a podcast. But if we weren't doing this, we probably, I don't know, what came on today? What came on yesterday? 911? Yep. You probably watching 911.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet. I didn't watch it yet, so don't say anything.
And not that I'm saying there's anything wrong about that, but it's just easy to get in the motions and just take the other person for granted. And so I thought the cover art kind of encapsulated that, and I wanted just to expound on it. But even when, because you're the one who took the picture, like you didn't even like challenge my creative, I don't know, what do you call it? There you go. My creative vision. You kind of like went along with it. And I never really asked what you thought about it. But I am kind of curious, and I don't know if I've done a good job clarifying what I want to do. So today, in talking about the podcast, You're Doing It Wrong, the topic, or per se, will be marriage. So the next one that I want to do is
Yo, my world don't stop
like,
when the beats commence. Said I'm climbing up this ladder just to get over this fence and run far, far away from the games people play. In this melancholy modern day music, Malay, touche. Pussycats with lives to spare. That kid you know in your heart, nice as hell, he here. Be aware, beware. I hate to see you less a liver or worse. Polar bear with the time.